My Rock. Joining me now to tell us all about it, Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter, INXS co-founder, and now solo artist, Andrew Farriss. Andrew, thanks so much for coming on. I love all those titles you've got, and you've got some great music, too.
Thank you, Emma. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. I know a lot of people might be looking for just some music to get them through some tough times you might be experiencing. You Are My Rock could be a good place to start. Tell me more about the inspiration for this one.
Sure. You Are My Rock is the last track on my 12-track self-titled album. And the song's about thanking people in your life who've helped you through life, and friends, family, you know, and just saying I appreciate your help getting through life, you know.
Yeah, you got to thank that person who made your hat, because I love it. And that's awesome, by the way. I'm sure all of our viewers are appreciative of that. You talk about a solo album, right? The fact that you're kind of going out on your own and releasing this self-titled album. Tell me about the decision to go from songwriter for other artists to really doing it independently. Right.
Well, I mean, for many, many years, I was one of the main songwriters in a group called INXS, and we had a huge international career. And, you know, but I kept writing songs when the lead singer from the band, Michael Hutchence, he passed away tragically in '97. And I kept on writing songs. That's what I do. And I compiled them all together. And then one day I realized I've got all these songs, so I started re-recording them. And then how I really became into the country rock, folk scene, if you like, or music, you know, really grabbed hold of me, was when I started re-recording my older demos. And then I suddenly found myself on a horse riding adventure with my wife down southwestern part of the United States. And we rode horses for 6 days straight, for 6 hours a day. And I saw all these national monument areas, and I, you know, at that point I'd thought a lot of like the Old West was like a Hollywood film. But when I actually rode it on horseback and I lived it, and I could see where there were still stagecoach tracks in the valleys and canyons or whatever. And I went to, you know, we rode our horses through Apache Pass and up to Cochise's stronghold. And you could see where the U.S. cavalry would have been riding across so the Cochise could get away. And then you had Tombstone up the road with all the cowboys, and you had the outlaws and, of course, the Mexican people. Then you had the Mexican army, you had the U.S. cavalry. It was just tumultuous, settlers, you know. And I got back to Nashville, where I'd been songwriting. Someone said, "What do you want to write a song about?" And I was like, "Oh, whoa." I said, "I don't want to write a song. I want to write a song about the Old West, you know." And at first, I think a couple of the people were like, "Why do you want to do that?" And I said, "Well, because it's incredible, the history of that." And in Australia, where I live, we live out on a farm I've had for 30 years, and we don't live on the beautiful coastline in Australia or around our cities. We live out in the middle, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. So I understand that. You see, I understand that environment. It's hot and dusty, and people work outdoors for a living. You know?
Yeah. No, well, through your songs, as you point out, you can paint a picture for people who haven't experienced the beauty that you saw.
Right.
And that's so fascinating. It's nice. It's relaxing. It's calming. It's a good reminder that there's a lot more that you can see, maybe even beyond your own backyard.
Sure. I mean, I think in the world we live in today, you're lucky if you have a backyard, actually, you know. But I'm grateful for everything in my life, and I'm grateful for the opportunity for people to hear my music and for me to come on your television show. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for coming on. Again, I was just looking you up on Spotify, but I'm sure, I know you've got a website as well. Is there an easy way for people to listen to you?
Sure. Yeah, they can go to andrewfarriss.com. But also, my music's available in physical form as well, on vinyl and digital. And I'm sure in 50 years' time, there'll be some other kind of, some other thing that hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah.
And people look back and they'll go, "Remember what all those old folks did? You remember all that?"
Yeah. Vintage, exactly. That's the cell phone. Andrew Farriss, thanks so much. Appreciate you coming on today. You Are My Rock. It's a good one. Check that out. Thanks so much.